All right, welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the hidden power of email marketing and why your list is more valuable than social media. Now, this is something that I know a lot of people should know, or I have already heard people talk about in the past, but it's something that I think it's important enough that we spend a little bit of time reiterating and going over why this is so true. Now, when people think about how to build a business online and about how to do all these things online, one of the primary things they're immediately thinking about is, well, I need to go on social media and I need to be able to connect with people. I need to build an audience. I need to do all these things. And that's all very true. Social media is really the primary way for most people who are coaches or course creators or who are doing things, in this type of space, go to connect with people. It's where we go to build a business. It's where we go to get our word out, and get the word out, and get the message out about what it is that we do and who we are and what services we provide, so that people can learn about us and learn about what we do. And it's a very valuable tool. It is like the entry point. It's like the first thing that we can do. It's like your ticket to the party, where you can get into the room where all the other people are, and we can talk and we can meet and we can mingle and interact with one another. And it's an incredible way for us to be able to engage with people. But there are also things that we need to learn about social media. And that is, first and foremost, we don't own it. We do not own anything when it comes to social media. And in fact, it's important to understand that we're not even clients of social media. Unless you're a paid advertiser and somebody who's doing that. If you are just a user of social media, with someone who's posting on it, putting things out there, you are not even a customer of it. And why do I say that? Because you don't pay for it. You do not pay for that service. You can open a Facebook account. You can open an Instagram account, Twitter, YouTube, whatever it may be, TikTok, whatever it is that you may be on, you pay nothing for it. They let you go onto their site, onto their service, and post things about what's going on in your life, your views about certain things, your feelings about things. You get to comment on things. You get to provide updates. You get to provide information about things either going on in your life, or you get to provide updates about your views about certain things that are going on in the world. And they allow you to do that. And as long as you don't get completely out of line, they have a pretty wide bandwidth of what they allow. And you can say a lot of stuff. And we've seen a lot of things being said on social media that you're just kind of like, wow, I can't believe somebody said that. And it gets all, allowed to be said. And there's some really hateful, awful things that get said from time to time. And social media doesn't really stop too much of it, especially anymore. But, why do they do that? Why do they allow you to go onto their site? Why do they allow you to post all these things? Why do they allow you to share about your business, to post different things, to talk about and to do live videos talking about your services and so forth? Because you're drawing people to the site. People are coming in and go logging onto these sites for a variety of reasons. To get updates from family and friends. That is certainly one thing. We've all had times where a friend, a family member, someone we care about is going through a difficult time. Maybe they were diagnosed with a health issue like cancer or something like that. And they're posting updates on their recovery journey on one of the social media platforms. And so they're putting this out there, and they're providing updates. And so if you want to, every once in a while, you're like, oh, I want to know what's going on with so-and-so. I want to know what's happening to them. I want to know how they're doing. Is there, what were the results of that test? Are they, is the cancer gone? Is it still there? What's going to happen? How are things going for them? And so you log on once in a while for simply things like that. You want to check and see, how's my friend doing? How did they get a good report back, or whatever it may be. There's all sorts of these little reasons on there. Or, maybe a lot of this too is you want to get the news. To be honest with you, this is how most of us get the news anymore. We go on to various platforms and we watch videos and we read clips and little posts about different things about what's going on in the world. And we get a wide swath of perspective on all the things that are happening in the world. And some of it is false, some of it is complete garbage, and some of it is true. And there's a blend, or some of it's, kind of true. And we're left to try and sort it out. And it becomes a very fascinating world to live in, of trying to understand our world through these lenses of social media. But my point in telling you all this is the platforms allow all of us free access. They allow us to come in and post all our views, to post all of our updates, to share all these things, to talk about our businesses, to do all these things because they believe it's going to draw other people onto the site. You see, we are not the customers of the site. We are the product. Let that sink in for a moment. We are the product. Just like you go to the grocery store and they have items on the shelf for you to buy: bread, meat, eggs, milk, all these different things are on the shelves for you to buy. From social media company standpoint, the shelves are filled with you and I. They're filled with people. And hey, look, this person's over here. We're going to go to that shelf in this aisle because we want to hear what they had to say. We want to get an update from them. You're the product. You're not the customer. You're the product, which is why at times social media platforms can be so ruthless, and why they can be so harsh, because they don't owe us anything. They feel zero loyalty to us as users of their platform. They don't care. They will make decisions to cut us off or to eliminate us without even the slightest bit of remorse, without any explanation. I mean, several years ago, I had my Facebook ad account shut down. Not an ounce of explanation. Not one. And I was a pretty big user of Facebook ads. I had sent them 7 figures worth of money running ads. And so I wasn't exactly a small player in the game anymore. They didn't care. And they never even cared enough to respond to tell me why they removed me. And they just yanked it. All of a sudden, I could no longer run ads. And I was like, what? What happened? And there was nothing I could do about it. There was no appeal that could be made. No one would respond to any of my messages. No one would do anything. Why? Because I'm just the product. I was advertising certain things, and me, and during that time frame, it wasn't just me, it was thousands of us all got our ad accounts yanked without warning, without anything, without any preconceived idea that this was coming. It would just all of a sudden happen, which is why we all have to understand that while social media is great for what it is, it's something that we all have to be careful of. It's all something that we have to be watchful of, but it's also something that we have, because we can get hooked into it and we can get pulled down a stream of, okay, this isn't healthy. We need to control our usage of it. But it's also something that we have no control over. We are the products that are getting put on the shelves every single day. The things that we post, the things that we share, they own every time you post something, they own that content because it's being posted to their servers. They own it. It's theirs. So if you post that picture of you and your family, that picture in their minds now belongs to them. You put that information on their server, that is their property. The server is their property. They own it. They pay for it. And you put things and you share things on it. And so now it belongs to them. So these are all things I want you to think about. While social media is presents an incredible opportunity for us, I don't want to, I've been playing the other side of the coin. I want to come back to the positive side of the coin as well. It presents an incredible opportunity for us to grow our business, to start the conversations, to build relationships. But we also have to always keep in mind that it's a two-edged sword. While it offers the opportunity for us to connect with people that we otherwise would never meet. How many times have you, when you think about your friends in life, the people that you've met, the people that you know, how many of them are people that you initially got connected through social media? I have quite a few that I can now consider friends. I now consider good friends of mine. And if it wasn't for the things that we did on social media, I would have never met these people. So it is a tremendous opportunity to start the conversation, a tremendous opportunity to get your brand out there, a tremendous opportunity to make yourself known, but it also is very, very limited in your control. In fact, you essentially have none. You have no control over what you do. So even if you built up a huge audience, the platform at any point in time can say, nope, bye. We're pulling you off the shelf. We don't want you here anymore. And there's not a thing you can do about it, which is why having your own email list is so important. So one of the things we want to emphasize throughout all this is that when you're posting on social media, you don't want to if you're trying to build a business, you don't want to just post on social media. You want to post and point. You want to point people to your site. You want to point people towards a free resource. You want to point people towards something that they can go and enter their name and email address and get on your email list. That you want to offer them resources, you want to offer them opportunities, you want to offer them things that will encourage them to connect with you in a way that's not connected to social media. Because once they do that, once they take that step, once they go off and join your email list, guess what? There's nothing anyone can do to stop you from communicating with them. You are now, as long as you don't violate email laws by spamming and so forth, they have now willingly opted in and said, yes, I'd like to hear more from you. You now have the right to email them multiple times a day if you want to. Now, if you do that many, they may get tired of you and they may, yank you and unsubscribe. But still, with that being, you're now the one who owns the relationship. You're the one who now has permission from them to communicate with them. You're the one who now has the ability to send a longer message out to them, an email, not just a little short blurb on social media. You have that. So again, the point of social media isn't just to build an audience on social media, although that's a good place to start. The point of all of that is to point people to get them on your whole email list. That is where you now control the relationship. This is where you control what happens from here. And you can then start controlling how you communicate. You can communicate at any time. That person stays on your list as long as they don't unsubscribe. And that's the same with social media. They can unfollow you at any point in time. They can unfriend you. They can remove the connection from you at any point in time if you start posting things that they just don't approve of. So that's a factor no matter what. But when you do this, you now have much more control over the game. You now have much more control over what is happening with this communication. You don't have to be sitting there like I did one day going, wait, what do you mean my ad account is closed? What do you mean it's been shut down? I never got a warning. I was never told one single time that I did anything wrong. There was never anything in there that said, Learn that we really had no control over this. Even though you think we built this audience, we built this following, we got all this stuff, we did all this work. Yeah, you control none of it. None of it at all. Because it was all taken away. Now, thankfully, we had built a large email list that we could still communicate with people on. We could still reach people through that. And, and so this is why a list of 100 engaged email subscribers is worth 10,000 casual followers on social media. 100%. We'll agree with that all day long, and we'll say that all day. If you have 100 people, even on a small email list, but if you have 100 people who are fully engaged, who fully read what you write, who are fully following what you say on your emails, that is worth 100 times more than 10,000 followers on social media. Because here's the thing, on social media, when you post, 10,000 people don't, even if you have 10,000 followers, that certainly does not mean that 10,000 people are going to see what you posted. And even if they do, like, in only a small percentage, especially, if you have a page that's posting things, only a couple percent of your followers will see anything. Only a couple percent will ever see anything that you posted. Most of them, 98% of them, it'll never even cross their feed. It'll never even get shown to them. So they don't even have a clue that you posted. Whereas an email gets sent to their inbox and they at least see it. And they at least have the opportunity to engage with it. It actually gets put in their path, as opposed to social media, where, again, you don't have any control over it. You can get essentially posting all this stuff and have zero, or almost a little over 0% of the people actually even see what you put out there. So this is why when you post on social media, the other thing is that when you post there, what happens next? Somebody reads your post, and 5 seconds later, you're sitting there on the toilet with your phone and you're just scrolling. Scrolling. You spend 5 seconds on a post. You skim it, you read it, you move on to the next thing. The depth of connection on social media is very, very thin. It is a very shallow connection. For 98% of the people that we follow, we see, okay, that's what they're doing. Okay, that's what they're doing. Okay, that's this. Okay, that's that. Great. And we move on. And that's it. And that's the end of it. And there's nothing more. There is absolutely nothing more going on than that. You literally just have a quick hit. Whereas when you have an email that goes out, you can have a much deeper connection on that. You can actually have people, like I have certain people that I read almost every email they send, because what they're sending is valuable and interesting and useful to me. It's helpful to me in my journey. It's giving me ideas. It's giving me insights. It's giving me thoughts. It's giving me things that I can use that are actionable, that I'm like, wow, I didn't think about that. Or, whoa, that's really useful. That's really helpful. So when I see an email coming from them, yeah, I want to read it. And of course, they're making offers. Come check out and buy this, or come, join us for this live training, which is where they're going to sell something. But they're always adding value. And as a result of them always adding value and helping me, I keep reading their stuff. And eventually, at some point, I've bought things from them. It's just a matter of time. So you have this significantly deeper connection with people on your email list than you do on social media. In social media, it is literally a hit and run. You will read a post for a few seconds, move on to the next one. Next, and next. We do not stick on anything for any substantial period of time on any of these platforms. Whereas in an email, you could actually get a 2 or 3 minute read. Someone could actually spend 2 or 3 minutes reading deeply what you've written. I've even had sometimes where I take the emails and I save them. It's like, oh, this was so good. I'm actually going to save this to a folder so I can reference it later because that was so helpful. Some of that is really, really good stuff. And it creates a much different kind of relationship. Now, the next thing that we need to know is now that we have that relationship building and that people are getting to know you and they're getting to hear you and they're actually listening to what you say instead of just hitting the thumb and scrolling past you on social media, how do we actually monetize some of these deeper connections using emails and using our list? Because too many times people will do a decent job of getting people on their list, but then they really won't email them much. They won't send out anything, and they don't really build and nurture that relationship. So the next stage is once you get people on that list, once you do a good job of getting people to sign up, once you do a good job of getting people to register and you provide them and incentivize them with ways of becoming an email subscriber, the next step is then to how do I turn those email subscribers into customers? How do I get them to take that next step? And the first thing is there's three strategies that I want to talk about with all of that today. And the first one is just a welcome sequence. And this is for anybody that is new to your list. Somebody that subscribes to your list, whether they downloaded a free resource like an ebook, they subscribe to watch a training, they subscribe to watch something along the way that was of interest to them. You know, you offered something for free and they said, great, I would love to participate in that. I'm happy to share my name and email address with you so that I can receive this thing that you're offering for free. This is how we get our email subscribers. We offer something for free in exchange for their contact information. And that's simply the trade. You know, I'll do that if you give me your name and your email. And then what you need to do is you need to introduce yourself. You need to let these people know now who you are. You need to introduce your story and your mission about who are you and what are you about and what is the type of work you're involved in and what is it that you do on a daily basis. And you need to introduce that. And there needs to be some automatic emails that go out that introduce yourself to these people, that engage with them and start following up. So it's not like, okay, here's your free resource, and then you never follow up again. No, you need to send some emails that are kind, that are helpful, that are educational, that show them this is what I do. This is the mission that I'm on. This is the vision of what I'm involved in. This is the work that we do. And this is why it's so important. And then when you do that, you have a nurture sequence that follows. And the nurture sequence is just delivering consistent value. So that when you show up, and this is like that 80-20 rule, where 80% of your emails should be helpful and 20% of them should be asking for something. So that when people see your email, they go, oh, I want to check this out because so-and-so emailed me and they have really good stuff. The things that they put out are really helpful. They're really useful. They're really stuff that gives me additional insights. It gives me additional thoughts. It gives me additional clarity on how to do things. So I want to read it. I want to learn from them. I want to hear what they have to say. So that's why you want to continue to send that, because again, you're deepening that relationship. I mean, this has happened to me many times, is that I'll get on someone's email list and I'll get emails for them for a while, and maybe even months, that I'll get emails from them and I'll be like, wow, this person's really smart. They really know what they're talking about. They're really good at this. And then one day they'll send me an email saying, hey, we're offering a free training on X, Y, and Z. I'm like, you know what? I want to check it out. I want to be part of this because this is amazing. This person is so good. I want to learn more from them. I want to learn more about what they're doing and what they're about because I love what they put out. And if all their emails are this good, their live training would probably be really good too. And then they present me with an offer, and sometimes I even join some of their programs, depending on what it is that they're offering. And those are all ways that, we can use our email list. Now we leverage it to the next step, and we have that, once they sign up for our live training or for whatever it is that we're doing, we have an offer sequence that follows that, and a set of emails that go out and talk about what it is that we do. And we offer them either the opportunity to apply to work with us if it's like a coaching relationship, or we offer them the opportunity to join. And we just lay it out there. And we go, hey, maybe it's time you consider working with us. Or, we have this amazing program that can help you. And if you enjoy the emails, you'll probably also enjoy this program. And you'll be like, yeah, I love everything I've learned from them. They're so helpful. And time again, that relationship building eventually turns into sales. It turns into customers. But again, you start with social media, you move into your email list, and then you work with that relationship and you nurture it. You add value, you become helpful, you utilize that so that people eventually want to become your client and they want to start working with you. And this is the sequence of how this is so powerful. And yet so many people try and make their sales from social media. They're trying to do it straight. They don't even worry about the email list. I'm like, you're missing it, because you can get, your business is on thin ice at that point, because you are dependent on social media to get all your sales. And as a result, you could get the rug yanked out for you very quickly, like I did years ago, and suddenly be staring at a zero, because now you lost your ability to get customers because they took it away from you. So take this to heart, please. Take it to heart that you will go out and you will put people on your email list. You will do the work that you need and then nurture that list. Build relationships with people so that people become loyal. They feel like they know you. They feel like they have a relationship with you because they've gotten to know you through all the valuable information you've been sending out in your emails. These are things that are very, very critical to building a business that will succeed. So just to recap and wrap everything up, remember, email is the thing that you can own. Your email list is a thing that you can own. You can control that. You have authority over that. You can decide how to utilize that, when you want to communicate with people. Even if one of the platforms shuts you down, you can still email your list. So always point people to your email list. Try and get them on that. Then use your email list to try and build that relationship. Try and nurture the relationship. Try and make it stronger and stronger so that people appreciate you. They know the value of what it is that you're doing. They know how important it is that what you're doing is something that they should check out, and that it's useful information to them. And then you want to turn those sequences into opportunities for people to become your client, for them to then take that next step. So again, a lot of these things are principles that have been taught many times before, but they're very, very important. And I really just wanted to reemphasize those today. And if you're struggling with, how do I get people on my email list? Or once I get them on there, how do I develop nurturing sequences? How do I offer them the opportunity to work with me in a deeper way? And in doing so, how do I turn all this into a business? If you'd like help with that, I would encourage you to check out designlaunchgrow.com. Fill out an application. We'd love to chat with you, learn more about you and your business, and we'd love to see if it's a fit, to see if this makes sense, that maybe we can help you become successful in your business like we have so many others. So that's everything for today. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you again in the next episode.